Hello everybody and welcome to another Fans Hobby review. In today's video we're taking a look at their latest offering. It is the final part of our God Ginrai. It is the MB-11A. This is their black God armor, aka the Apex armor, aka God Bomber. This is a pre-production sample, but I believe these are now hitting retail. Quick look around the box, very simplistic. It's just the cardboard box. It's what's inside that counts, and we have him in robot mode, truck mode, the final cab section, combined with MB-06, 06A, 06B, 06C, and 06D. Those are the variations in colour that we've got thus far. And of course we have him fully combined into his God Ginrai mode. Without further ado, let's crack it open. There we go. I can't even begin to explain to you how heavy this is. It's heavier than their Power Master Prime. This is where all the weight is. It comes packaged securely in this plastic clamshell, and it's taped at the top, sides and bottom. Right, here we have him out of his plastic prison with all of his accessories. First of all, let's take a look at this alternative head we get. A very animation-esque antennae there. Love the way they kind of jot out either side. Really kind of captures that Japanese animation style. We get sheaths, which I believe are all part and parcel of the swords. It's all built in. Really big, chunky, again with this purple mix match with silver and greys. Great coloration on these. We get the humongous cannon, which can be tapped in like so, or can be doubled up as a gun, and then we get the bigger handle there as well. But again, lovely colouring. Really can't wait to get the actual Apex Bomber colours as well. We get these missiles. There we go. Got some tampo printing. I know some people aren't fans of the tampo printing. There's always stickers, etc. you can get for these as well, but personally I don't mind them at all. Kind of gives it that kind of more realistic vibe to it. And then we get a little Masterforce dudes. We get the 3 colorations. So we get the 3 different head sculpts. Were these classed as Headmaster Juniors, I guess? And we're going to get our headmasters coming like Minerva. Minerva? Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to get a Night Beat as well. Now, these figures themselves, they do transform. The idea is to take the crown section off. Yes, it's parts forming. Worst toy ever. And basically we can extend the legs and extend the legs, so we have our normal kind of Power Master figure. And then if we open up the canopy section, right, it's super tight, but if we bring this panel here down, allows this chest panel here to lift up, and you can see here we've actually got these tab sections at the top here, and these just slide over like so. We can do that with all 3 if we choose to, but let's just take a look at these a little bit more in detail. Love the way the legs extend there, and then we've got that crotch panel piece which comes down, makes them all very unique. And lastly, look at the abdominal crunch, works fantastic. Oh, I think this could be my new favourite. And we have space for these to stand in the cockpit in 3 different locations if we see fit. And to give you an idea of how they scale, here they are along with the Ginrai. Yeah, I think that's a pretty decent scale. I mean, these are the Headmaster Juniors, and I think they kind of look the part, don't they? And here we have them all snuggled up cosily in the cockpit section, which comes down, and you can see them all peering through. That is freaking amazing. Small things, you know, keep me happy, but I think that is brilliant, the fact they can all see to drive, and just lock that into position. And there we go. There we have the armoured trailer. Something we don't get very often anymore is actually projectiles. This has just been tabbed in, and there's a button on top here. Oh, that came out with some velocity. Again, this is not for children under the age of 13. Definitely not. This can just tab in at the top there. And if we just go to the underside, the sword has these tab sections in, so you want to have that tabbed in and tabbed in, and just push, lock those into place there. Just make sure that the circle piece is facing inside the cab, otherwise we're going to have clearance issues. And there we have the heavy artillery come into play. Really like how that looks, although I do keep knocking these sections out. Kind of manhandled it a little bit, and every time I knock, say, the one at the front out, and the one at the side pops out as well. But it's definitely a big chunky Apex armour, really formidable piece. If you want to attach it to your prime trailer, we have this hitch at the front here, which can come up like so, and it rotates, and this just pegs in and clips on to the back of prime, and we have it all joined up. Here's one long train. It doesn't quite roll as much as I'd like. I don't think I've got these wheels transformed right, but you get the idea. It is absolutely massive. I mean, phenomenally big. For an example, that is MP10. What a massive beast. Now, for those of you curious about the coupling hitch, it's just this tab here. It's just a couple of mil thick, and it just slots straight in to that front bumper section. Now let's get him transformed up and see what he looks like in his bot mode, shall we? This all basically just untabs and unlocks, and much like we got with the original God Bomber, it's all part and parcel. It's kind of all very parts formerish, because he is just in essence armour for our big guy. So let's bring these crotch flaps down, bring the legs down like so. These parts detach, and these are all going to form the separate segments of our combiner. And let's just detach these like so. This comes up, bring this section around, and close off that shoulder tab. That locks in, and you want to get this head out. That's going to come up and slide all the way across, and you're going to do the same with both sides. This arm joint is actually going to slide down, so we expose that joint. There we go, all the way down there, and bring that up. We want this bit here facing the front. We should then be able to bring in this side piece, and we're gonna bring it in at the top there, and then we're just gonna work these sections in together on both sides like so. So that's nice and firm. And again on this side, just working those in nice and firmly. That rattling you can hear, that's because I've still got my Power Masters securely pegged in in his backpack. Bring these hip skirts around like so. Bring in these arms, and we've just got this tab piece. They're going to come in, and there's a groove either side that will just slide in like so and like so, and then to lock that into place, push that segment down, and we just bend the hands around. You can see these wing sections are just tabbed in at the top here. He's starting to come together now, and now we've got the big mass that is his legs. So let's this section here, I was trying to bend it and pop it out, but it doesn't pop out, it slides side to side. So just like so. Okay, so these grooves go into those sections there. Now his legs are locked into place by sliding side to side, and we've got the feet at the bottom here. This comes down, grab these legs, and these want to split out, and this here is going to slide out as well. It's kind of stiff, but once you work it out, it does slide out nicely. This will then fold back over on this hinge here, and this one can then come back in. We've then got space to slide this one up and these ones down, and this then going to come down and push into that leg socket, and then the feet and then move across to the center, and we've got this leg panel here. And what we can do, we can then just bring this leg in, slide that in at the thigh, and there we have he's massive, and here he is. I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting the God Bomber to be quite as large as that. He is absolutely massive. Just close off those shoulders. He holds it together pretty nicely. He does have those swords which can extend and mounted in his hands. The rocket launcher can also be mounted in his hands. He's a nice piece. I'm just excited to get him combined up, that's all. But just to give you an idea of his scale, he's a big boy, isn't he? He towers over the rest of the figures. He is nigh on the same height as our Power Master Prime. Looks like a happy bunny, doesn't he? Head can look up, down, left and right. Not the greatest of motion there, because obviously we've got two sections to that head joining together. We've got shoulders and ratchets, and out to the side we've got that bend on the elbow. We've got those fully articulated hands. We do have a waist rotation in there as well. I'll cover that shortly. Let's just stand him up. If we come around to these swords, they can extend like so, and then we actually have another tab like this. So we have a rather long sword, and these can then extend as well, like so. So we have two very long swords, and they can just be placed in the grooves on his hands, much like we can with that cannon as well. We switch the handle out, and there we go. There we have a rather large blade there. There we go. The waist, as I said, does rotate. We do get the hip skirts to the front and to the rear, allowing for the legs to move this far forwards, this far back, out to the side. There is upper thigh rotation. We do have a double jointed bend on those knees. We get some quite dynamic poses in there and coming down to the feet. They do slide left and right, as well as go up and down and rotate. This doesn't want to stay tabbed in here as well as I'd like. There, it keeps popping out, but we've got a fairly wide stance, not a great deal of ankle pivot in there as well. I don't think there's any way of kind of moving these feet out, but still I think there's more than enough range there to get some pretty decent posing. Let's put that sword back and let's spread this one around, bring his thumb up. There we go. Something pretty menacing, isn't there, about that look to him. Right, now getting back transformed up into his power base mode, and we want to just keep the hands tucked in, and we're now going to take this guy apart. We're going to unfold these wing panels and the arms. These are all going to kind of go back to how they were, so this needs to kind of needs to slide back in, and this is going to come all the way back in and untabs from here, and that's going to come up and this will come round. This panel slides in like this, that still stays down. Bring this around, up like so, and then out like that. Collapse the toes like this, and like this is going to form the base of the foot. Press the retractor in like so, and pretty much going to use this as the base. Pop this crotch panel off and start building. The arms just slide in all the way up, and then bring this down to push that in. Already starting to look superb, to say the least. Make sure that you extend this panel out. Like so. Just remember, press that button in and that'll extend nicely. And then we can bring in the toe. That'll just push and lock and heel. Also push and lock. Right, now if you've got the version 2, make sure that this panel here is pulled back so it's straight. I have the version 1, so it's always straight. And then we can just move these pieces up. And they slide on like so. Bring in the chest panel, and you'll see that we've got 4 tabs. We've got a groove and a tab here, a groove and a tab here. Those are going to line up with what we've got over the other side. There we go. That's locked nicely into position. Man, that's looking good, isn't it? Starting to look superb. The shoulder bits just literally clip on and dig down onto this section here. There's a clip thing that pegs in, and I'll just attach the swords to the back there. Quickly show you the alternative head. This is the head that I've got on there at the moment. This is the alternative head, and we actually have a super mode for this head as well. These sections here come out, and this one here comes out like so, and then this lifts up so like that. So it's a much more kind of animation inspired. It's just mounted on that ball socket There we go. Pull those out. There we have him. He looks sensational. What a beast of a bot. I've got his cannons on his feet. I've got his shoulder mounted cannon. I've got him holding that in his hand, but obviously the options are there to put it wherever you see fit. And to give you an idea of his scale, here he is alongside MP-44 and of course Power Baser. I mean, that is a substantial size difference. What amazing feat. Come a long way, hasn't it, since the likes of Crossover Gen. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the Crossover Gen piece. It just became very dated very quickly. The plastic just wasn't made as well as alternative products. And this, on the other hand, this is a monster. You take a look at the articulation. The head can look up, down, left and right. Lots of rotation in there. We've got the same Power Baser articulation. Basically, it's all there. His gun's a bit wibbly wobbly in that hand. I think I'll have that there on his chest. We've got space on the back for his guns as well. I don't have his guns on him. I didn't have him displayed with them in the case, but they can just peg on to the back of those wings as we can place the swords in the hand as well. We've still got that waist rotation down the bottom there. We've got these hip skirts, which kind of hide the alternative hip skirts quite nicely up there. And then we've got these big heavy legs, really quite heavy, kind of hindered by what's going on here. But if you've got patience, that's just his sword popping off. If you've got patience, we can still bend all of these joints. Has to be very careful because this is exceedingly heavy and my back is not designed to be lifting heavy things at all. We've got lots of up and down motion in there as well. He is just as pretty much, if you know the articulation on your Power Baser, then it's pretty much been kept the same. He's just about a foot taller than he was. Really love what they're doing, and to be honest with you, I cannot wait to get this guy squared up with his armour on, battling off against Overlord. I will do a full comparison against Overlord when we get the Apex armour colours, but for now this is a fantastic upgrade kit. If you have Power Baser, then this really goes without shadow of a doubt. This is a must. I love the fact we get the Headmaster Juniors with it as well. Everything kind of fits together nicely and it just finishes off an amazing piece. Truly happy, over the moon with this piece, and can't wait to see what other people think. Leave your comment in the comment section below, and until next time, for myself and the Apex Armour from Fran's Hobby, goodbye.